It's time. Time to start something. Challenge something. Discover something. So welcome. Welcome to your future.
Welcome to biology.
To computer science.
To chemistry.
Welcome to Canada's largest department
of Earth, Energy, and Environment.
Welcome to physics.
To the amazing world of mathematics and statistics.
To neuroscience.
Welcome to the whole universe.
Science is for everyone. It's for rebels and visionaries, disruptors and doers, and people like you.
No matter who you are welcome here.
You belong here. Science is your community.
This is going to be awesome.
You're going to do amazing things.
You are going to be the first.
Get fired up. Let's get science done.
Let's get science done.
Get science done.
It's time to get science done together. Welcome to the Faculty of Science at the University of Calgary.
Good morning and welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I hope everyone is doing well. My name is Mindy Summers, and I'm the Associate Dean for Undergraduate Programs and Student Affairs in the Faculty of Science. I will be your MC for today's event, where you'll get to learn about the Undergraduate Science Center and connect with 5 of our current students. This is a great opportunity for you to ask questions and hear firsthand about the student experience here in the Faculty of Science. So before we begin, I would like to acknowledge and pay tribute to the traditional territories of the peoples of Treaty 7, located in the heart of southern Alberta, which include the Blackfoot Confederacy, comprised of the Siksika, the Piikani, and the Kainai First Nations, the Tsuut'ina First Nation, and the Stoney Nakoda, including Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Goodstoney First Nations. The City of Calgary is also home to the Métis Nation of Alberta, Districts 5 and 6. Before we get started with our presentation, I do want to clarify that we won't be answering any admissions, program-specific, or advising questions today. If you need assistance with program questions or registering for your classes, please contact the Office of the Registrar. Today's session is all about connecting you to current students to have your questions answered about what it's like to get started here in the fall. So let's get started. Our first presenter is William Dobie, Undergraduate Student Services Manager at the Undergraduate Science Center. He'll be sharing an overview of program opportunities and student supports available to science students. Please join me in welcoming William Dobie.
Good morning, everyone. My name is William Dobie. Again, yes, I'm the manager for the Undergraduate Student Services for Undergraduate Science. Thank you again for taking some time out of your Saturday today to come and learn a little bit more about the Faculty of Science, some of the resources that we have. The first slide that I have here today is our kind of office hours, contact information. So please feel free to take a little screen grab or a picture of this if you guys are ever looking to connect with us, because the undergraduate advising kind of office and the advisors are going to be kind of a pivotal kind of resource as you as students will be progressing through their undergraduate program. So program advising. What is an academic advisor? What are we supporting? What does our office do? What kind of resources do we have in here, and where can we potentially refer you to? So an advisor is going to help you with your degree requirements. So what are the courses that are required for you to finish your 4-year degree in 4 years? Or are you looking to maybe take a semester for co-op or a year for co-op, and it's going to spread your degree over 5 years? Or maybe you want to take a lighter course load because 5 courses in a semester is maybe a little bit too much and you want to ease your way into post-secondary. The advisors are here to help you kind of plan out your academic journey, and that can change as you continue through the program. You might start with 5, then you might want to go down to 3 and maybe take some spring and summer courses. Lots of different options, and it's not something that a student necessarily needs to know all of the different options, but you're welcome to come here and start asking some questions, and we're happy to help you out, right? So maybe you get a lower grade on your first one, you want to take the course again, or again, you're just looking to spread out your degree. The advisors are here to help that. maybe in your first year, you're like, yeah, I'm in biology, but now I really want to go into chemistry because I took my first year chemistry course and I really, really enjoy it. So change of program applications, we're here for that as well. So what we would do is we would help you plan out your courses, maybe start shadowing that chemistry program. So then when you apply for a change of program for the following year, you're kind of already taking those chemistry courses. We can help you kind of set up for some of those different plans that might arise. GPA, academic standing, right? How well you're doing at the university at the time. Do we need additional supports, tutoring? What other resources do we have at the university, right? That will help you on that academic journey. So we're here to help kind of facilitate those pieces. Again, those course selections, so specifically what classes you're looking for. And like I said, that involves potentially shadowing other programs because maybe you're just like, I'm not too sure what I want to do first year. I'm in a program and I don't know if I really, really want this specific one. We're here to help you with all of those kinds of different ideas. Dean's list, very similar to a honors list, like honor roll. The idea that those high achieving students are recognized year over year. ATP, academic review, kind of goes hand in hand with those GPA and academic standings, right? So again, additional resources to kind of support you on your academic journey. Those registration troubleshooting, right? So you guys as first years will be coming shortly to start registering for some of your courses, and we'll go over kind of how to register a little bit in the next few slides. But we're going to help you with those kind of troubleshooting, right? So hey, this course is full, right? And then we'll say, join the wait list. We'll see if we can expand those classes to make sure you're able to get into those. And then that will lead all the way to the very end, which is your graduation checks. Am I on track to graduate from my current program? And do I need to pick up anything? So please feel free to come in once a year, once a semester. And if you just want to check, just to give yourself a little bit of peace of mind, we do have advisors here to help and assist with that, along with some other tools that we have on your student center, which I'll go into in a second, that you'll be able to check yourself to make sure you're on the right path without having to come in if you so desire. So like I was saying, your student center. Your student center is going to be that hub that kind of connects you to the rest of the university, right? You're able to access information about your student record. That will be like your transcripts, and that your change of program is there as well. You're registering for courses, you're checking your grades there. If you want to change, like we say before, that change of program. So I really like biology and I want to switch to chemistry or vice versa. And I want to add a minor and I want to do an embedded certificate. I want to change something. I want to customize my degree. You're going to be able to do that all through your student center. Again, your financial accounts are in there. Your awards are in there. Enrollment verification letters are going to be in there. So maybe some banks or loans, or maybe a parent or guardian's work may require an enrollment verification letter to get access to some maybe additional scholarships, bursaries, those kinds of items. Academic requirements report, that's going to be in a nice big list of all the courses that are required in your current program, and it will just a big checklist. So it's going to go through and say, you've satisfied this requirement, you've not satisfied this requirement, so you know exactly where you're at in your degree. And then probably the second most important thing is your enrollment start time. So right on your student center, you're going to have in the right-hand corner, you're going to have a little box that's going to say, this is the date and time, specifically the time that you're able to start registering for courses. That doesn't mean that you can't start planning and adding courses to your shopping cart so you're ready to go when your enrollment time starts. You'll notice I have two QR codes on the screen here that will take you to a web page, a summary page of what an academic requirement report is, as well as what is an enrollment start time, how are those set up, questions kind of about that. So you kind of see that academic requirements report, right? It's another way for you to see all the different classes that you have to take to graduate from your current program. So what we also have is just another way of visualizing all of the different courses that you need to take to graduate from your current program. So example that I have here, biological sciences, one of our biggest programs that we have in the Faculty of Science. And you can see the courses you need to take first year and courses you need to take second year, third year, and fourth year. I'm assuming the vast majority of you have already looked at your first year degree guides that are also on the University of Calgary website. Some students might want to say, okay, that's first year, I got that. What is beyond that? We have these on our website. And again, another QR code so you can visit our site, and we'll list all of the different sequencing guides that we have. Just keep in mind, you're going to look at the year that you started the program. So everyone here is coming in fall 25. So just make sure you're downloading that program sequence guide for fall 25. So you're following that calendar, the academic calendar's rules and regulations for that kind of program at the time. Again, lots of different things on this page, like what is a science breadth? What is a non-science option? What are options, electives? This little screenshot I have here is just a snapshot of what the requirements are. When you look at those detailed kind of course guides, you'll see the definitions in there as well, and links to where you can see, what is an open option, right? That's basically just another word for an elective. Courses in the field of biological sciences, right? That will have a nice big list through this page as well. So you can choose from an abundance of courses to fill these requirements here. The science co-op program, right, is a really cool opportunity for students to get that paid work experience, and that's something that you can put into your program. This is something that students will be looking at for their second year. So don't necessarily worry about it right now, but the idea is you're aware that there is a cool opportunity for you to start expanding that network, exploring those kind of potential career options in your current program, kind of develop those technical skills, just so you can be competitive in that job market. And the really nice thing too is that through the co-op program, you're actually going to be able to maintain full-time status while you're on co-op. And that's incredibly beneficial for international students. It's beneficial for people who need to be on certain scholarships and bursaries that require students to be in 3 or more classes per semester, or just full-time status. This will meet that requirement. So there's an opportunity for you guys to ask a few quick questions about kind of some of those kind of quick resources that we have. You guys are welcome. You guys should be able to type into the chat if you guys have questions. It looks like I have 2 already. So yeah, some students are asking questions about, I'm looking to transfer from one program to another. What courses should I start registering in? When it gets down to those specific questions of you as an individual, that's when you're going to want to come into the undergraduate science center, and you're going to say, hey, I'm currently in bio and I really want to get into neuro. That's what I want to do in the future. You can come and sit down and we'll start kind of going through those kind of first year guides, the 4-year guides, and we're going to start figuring out what courses that you need to take. Some programs, specifically like neuroscience, only have certain times when students can get into them. Not all of them are like that. It's pretty much just neuro. That's just a little bit more unique. So what we would do is, just come and sit down, make an appointment. If that's science.advising@ucalgary.ca, you can email us. We can set up something. We're open during the spring and summer. So if you guys are just like, I just have a few questions, I'm not too sure, feel free to pop in during our business hours. We typically have drop-ins. So just come in if you want to bring a friend, family members to come in just because you have questions and it's something new, feel free to pop in and ask. Questions like, can we access resources if we haven't accepted the offer, right? You can still come in, chat with academic advisors, just say, this is what I'm looking to do, and we're more than happy to help with that. Resources like tutoring support, wellness, these things, right? That's actually part of your tuition, and that's actually going to be when you're actually accepted your offer and you're actually starting to come to the university. Questions like courses being waitlisted. Can courses fill up? Certainly courses can fill up, right? That's why we have those wait lists available, so we can start potentially expanding some of those courses depending on demand of students, right? There's many different scenarios that can happen. Maybe a student's looking to repeat a course or kind of spread it out so no one fits a box perfectly. That's okay. That's what kind of university is about, right? Customizing your degree and your experience. Research opportunities are in abundance here at the university. We have ones that are short during your spring and summer. You can look at honors if you're looking at doing certain courses. So what I would say, if you're interested in any kind of research opportunities, again, either looking at our website for research opportunities or coming in and talking to an advisor, and we'll go through all the different options that you have, because maybe you just want to start small, or sometimes you may want to start right in and just dive right into it. We can help with all of those options. And then, yeah, I'd probably just say there was one question about kind of that response times, right? So right now we're kind of in the midst of registration. So we have an abundance of current students asking questions and troubleshooting. So normally when our response time is kind of that 2 days kind of response time, it's a little bit longer during the registration periods or peak periods because everyone has their questions at the exact same time. So that's when we have that ability for students to come in, ask those questions, but we'll certainly get towards those emails as soon as we possibly can. Okay, just so I don't spend too much time on all the questions, I'll go to the next slide, and then there'll still be opportunities at the very end for us to continue.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your presentation, Will. This information is just so valuable for all of our incoming students. Again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to type them into the Q&A. We'll be watching and responding to the Q&A throughout the rest of our presentation. And then also, the Undergraduate Science Center is available. The websites that Will posted are up and available. You can access them before you accept your offer, after you accept your offer, at any point during your degree, so you can access those program guides and other resources. And again, the USC is here to answer all of your questions as they come up as well. So now we actually have a surprise guest who'd like to steal our attention for just a moment before we get started with our panel presentation. So you're about to see Rex, our UCalgary mascot, and Rex has a really fun contest that he'd like to share with you for today.
I'm Rex, the UCalgary mascot and #1 Dinos fan. This incoming class is looking. Dynamite? Cheering for dinos is my thing. Without you, I would be a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Jurassic times call for Jurassic measures, so I've got a roarsome challenge just for you. Keep an eye on your inbox. I'll post details shortly. This challenge will be online, not in the field, so you will not have to worry about getting dinosaur. Complete my challenge, and you will be entered to win the U at UCalgary Rex's Challenge Award, an exclusive prize with UCalgary swag. Be sure to watch your email for more instructions after the event. Go Dinos!
All right, so please remember to check your email later today. That's where you'll find more instructions and for your chance to win the Rex's Challenge Award. So we hope you'll check that out. All right, so we're about to dive into our student panel, but before doing so, I would like to take a quick poll. So we're really curious to hear what you're most excited about for first year and where you might be having some questions or kind of interested in additional support. Great. How's our poll looking, Will?
It's looking good. Right now it seems to be, I mean, everyone's answering all at the same time, but academic success seems to be one of the kind of like the major kind of points that students are looking for. Making friends and networking seems to be a really close kind of second, alongside co-op. So it looks like a lot of students are looking for those opportunities to jump into the workforce, and just kind of getting that kind of hands-on experience. What else are we kind of seeing here? We're looking at just that general kind of transition to university, right? I think that's the unknown of, I've never been to university before. What's going to happen? So I think that's something kind of very valuable as well. And I'm excited that when we start getting into the poll, or sorry, the panel, all of the students or current students will be able to kind of answer some of these questions for you guys.
Wonderful. Yep, this looks like great alignment. So let's get started with our panel. So I'm so excited to be able to introduce a fantastic group of science students who are here to share their experiences. The goal here is for you to be able to ask them anything that might interest you. So think about what their favorite first year classes might be, to how they got involved in the student community, We heard questions in the poll here about co-op and research experiences as well. Ask about making friends, using campus resources, kind of anything that might be on your mind related to becoming a student and getting started here. So again, please feel free to drop your questions into the Q&A window. I will be watching the questions that come in along with Will. And then we'll be able to kind of send them out to our panelists here today. So we're so excited to hear from you and to have this conversation. So please do join me in welcoming our student panelists. Rather than introducing them one by one myself, I'm going to ask them each to share a bit about who they are by answering the very first question. So my first question is, panelists, please introduce yourself. Please share your year, your major, and any activities that you're involved in here at UCalgary that you'd like to share with the group.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Rebecca. I'm a fourth-year natural science honors student. I concentrate in mathematics and biology. I'm also one of the team leads for the Science Ambassadors, so it is one of the amazing volunteer opportunities that we have on campus.
Morning, everyone. My name is Jason. I'm a fourth-year computer science student at the University of Calgary. I'm in the science co-op program, so I can answer, I guess, internship questions. I am also the president of the cybersecurity club, so if anyone's on campus later, feel free to come by, and we have a bunch of booths with other clubs. And I'm also the duck guy, so mental health things, I have words on those.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Liba. I'm a fourth-year astrophysics student. I'm involved in a few things, but most notably, I'm involved with the PAM Talks, which is a podcast. PAM stands for Physics and Astronomy Mentors. So yeah, look us up if you're interested in that kind of thing.
Hi there, everyone. My name is Park, and I'm in my fourth year of Honors Geology and Environmental Science here at the university. I'm involved pretty heavily with the Rundle Group Geoscience. I'm one of the co-presidents, and it's kind of the Geoscience Student Club here on campus.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Taha Hedayat. I am a fifth-year honors math major and music minor. I am the current president of SMC, which is the math club here at U of C, and I am also a researcher. So, and a lot more, but that will be to come.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for those introductions. So my first question that I'd like to pose to everyone on the panel is to please tell us about your experience settling into campus life. So that first year, what helped you adjust? And is there any advice you'd give to students getting ready to come to campus in the fall?
Okay, so my first year actually was online. And since we are not in that environment anymore, I'll focus on my second year because it was the time that I arrived on campus. So I'm an international student. So what happened is I had a pretty drastic change in my life when I arrived on campus, not only because I was starting university, but also because I was starting university in another country. So one thing that really helped me was setting on residence. Of course, it is not always something that all students will have like the opportunity to do, but it was something that allowed me to really get in contact not only with the culture, so the Canadian culture, but also get to know another students. So that was one thing that was amazing. However, one thing that we are all going to do is walking around campus. So one thing that I found that really helped me was walking around. So in between classes, but also when I was free. So really getting to know the buildings, getting to see people. So I thought that it was really interesting to see how students were behaving, not only in class, but in the community. And one thing that I definitely recommend for your first year is that all students are going to be on the same condition. So when you get to your first class, everyone are going to be looking around like, oh my God, I don't know anyone. What am I doing here? So don't be afraid to reach out. So probably you sit on a chair just talk to like the person next to you because they are probably going to, I don't know, be looking for friends, for example. So that's my tip.
Well, I'm a domestic student, so I can't echo exactly what Rebecca said, but she did raise very good points. Like, even though I was a domestic student, I'm from Calgary, I found that the shift between high school and university was still quite drastic. The timelines, that sense of personal responsibility really just ramped up to a high extent. And even though it may seem overwhelming at first, that there's all these crowds of people, everyone looks like they know what they're doing. To be honest, no one really knows what they're doing. I still don't really know what I'm doing. So everyone's just kind of going around about it, and we just go with the flow and hope for the best. And as Rebecca mentioned, it's really important to just start to connect with people and I guess learn about your classmates and whatnot. And especially in, I guess, your major focus courses, because you'll slowly start to see these people more and more as you continue forth in your degree. And I guess you can get some really nice friendships and bonds and I guess connections with people from there. So
My first year, it was in person, but everyone was still wearing masks as that was still mandated. So we were all rusty on our social skills, and we couldn't really see each other's facial expressions. So don't worry, your first year will be better than ours, for sure. But one of my advices to first year students would be, um, as soon as you can, get involved in clubs or societies or even like your student associations or even look into the resource centers on campus. Just because there's like they're little hubs for community. And especially in your first year, your classes will be over 200 people, most of them. So it's better to like find sense of community outside of the classes. However, I do also recommend talking to the people who are sitting next to you in class and setting up study groups. I was like a little too shy to do that, but I would really recommend that you do that. And yeah, look into the resource centers. I really like the Women's Resource Center on campus, but there's so many for all different types of students.
Really, I'm just going to echo what everyone else has said before me, Rebecca, Jason, Liba. Um, Again, I started when everyone was wearing masks. You're in these huge classes, and it's really hard to get to know people, especially if you go into a major that even if you are a domestic student, not many people from your high school went into. So really making an effort to like join clubs, connect with your classmates, especially in your labs, because those are a much smaller environment. If you are taking science courses that have labs, that's a really kind of easy spot to get to know your classmates, make some friends, and just get connected really early.
Yeah, again, similar to what Rebecca mentioned, my first year was also online, so there wasn't much opportunity to like have that social interactions, which luckily you guys will have a better chance at that. But what I do recommend in that, the thing that worked for me, because first year, I was a shy little kid that liked math and didn't have many friends, especially not many friends that also transferred into math. So I just basically lost all my friends going into other majors. So what really was good for me was the events that were held by the university and or faculty of science, where they were just like speed friend making, and I remember in one of those, they used to make you give a little joke at the beginning, and my stupid little joke was just like, "What do you call a cow without legs? Ground beef." Haha. And I know, hilarious, comedic genius over here. I stole it from online, but it's okay. So that resulted in me actually finding a couple of good friends that even lasted until the end of my degree. Well, I'm not at my end of my degree, but to this day. So definitely do that. That is what I recommend. Go have those events that are held by the faculty. Those are there to help you connect with individuals. And honestly, I know that like going into university, academics is going to be the main thing that you want to focus on, and you should. Academics is why you're here, but you're not going to get through it if you don't make friends and you don't build your community. So 100% get started on that. Try to find your people. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much to all the panelists for sharing. I really appreciate that. So I think the next question I'd like to ask you all is, looking back on your first year or just overall in your degree in general, do you have a favorite UCalgary memory that you'd like to share with the group?
Okay, so I think my favorite memory I'll include as a favorite memories because one of the things that I really, really love doing is volunteering. So as Taha was saying, actually it matches quite perfectly because those speed friending events are held by the science ambassadors. So we actually, as a group of volunteers, we really look forward to really engage the science community and build that sense of community and make people like science students get involved with their friends, making friends and like getting to know what is happening at the university. So one of my favorite memories from that specific experience was my first open house. So I, unfortunately, since I'm an international student, I didn't have the opportunity to attend my open house. However, I really enjoyed being there. So it is like a huge event. And as a science ambassador, you have the I think it is one of like the greatest opportunities that I had on campus, which is really share not only my perspective on my degree, but also help students like the prospective students feel welcomed and see that, hey, we have this fantastic community that if you're really interested in academics like I am, for example, you have so many opportunities of research of how can you really get involved with your professors and talk to them, approach them. It is not as terrifying as you think. So I don't know, I felt that having that opportunity, so it is one of my most fond memories.
I feel like mine's a little more childish after that, but I think mine would be probably after the first final season in my first year after fall. I guess that sense of being able to finish all those courses and completing your first semester, it was a sense of relief that I never really thought I needed or was expecting. But I guess finals are, I guess, most courses have finals and most first year courses have finals, so everyone will have to go through this, but it really gives you this bond with your classmates as you guys go through these last couple of weeks of your semester of all these projects to do, all these assignments to do. Oh, here comes finals. And once all that is done and you have that moment to just breathe and be like, oh, hey, I just did that. I just finished my first semester of university. Did that just happen? Am I here? Like, I guess maybe I'm just strange in a way in thinking about that, but it was a memory I think I won't ever forget.
My response was actually going to be very similar to Jason, so I'm glad you brought it up. But first year is hard because it's such a big change, and especially if you're taking 5 classes or 4, it's really, really hard. So any like comedic moment or any like sense of relief in the midst of it or at the end of it, like after finals, really stand out. One of them, I remember sitting in like my first year physics class, and to learn the physics of a spring, the profs brought us Slinkies and we just played with Slinkies for the entire day. That was really fun. But then also at the end of my physics final, um, I like spent way too much money on this like chocolate cake slice that was in Mac Hall, which I know they just get from Costco and just repackage, but whatever, whatever. It was so good. It was like the best slice of chocolate cake I've ever had.
I have also treated myself to sweets after finals, so this is going to be something that you guys will experience as well. My most memorable part of first year was just getting to be in person and like take labs on the stuff I really enjoy. I'm in geology, I'm a rock nerd, so taking my first year geology course where I could actually like hold rocks was my favorite thing about first year, and it was my only in-person course. I was like, you can pry this away from my cold dead hands. So finding the thing you really enjoy in first year, and even if that doesn't turn out to be the major that you start in originally, it's totally okay to switch and just follow your passion. So yeah.
This memory of mine is quite interesting because it reminds me that professors are human as well. I know it will be hard to think of them in that way once they once you actually learn from them because they're so like smart. But so I remember this was online where you just had your video cameras and you that's the only interaction you really had with your professor. And this was my most difficult class, the class that literally had me up at 3 a.m. in the first week of classes, and I was crying because I couldn't figure out the problems. And but the professor, sweetest guy I've ever known. Like he wouldn't hurt a butterfly. But one day, I was always so intimidated by him. But then one day, he just showed up to class, wearing a t-shirt, and normally he wore long sleeve shirts, and so I just saw that he just had like a full-on sleeve tattoo on, and I was like, this is the coolest guy I've ever seen, holy crap. And it just took me away from like the fact that like this is like a really smart person that has like dedicated their life to like academia, but they're also still like a person that I can just like talk to and have a conversation with. And that's kind of like reminded me of like, hey, don't separate yourself too much from your professors. Go talk to them. They're trying to help you. They're trying to educate you.
Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing those memories. So I'm seeing kind of a bit in the chat, almost a follow-up to what we've just been talking about. So thinking about that, first year at UCalgary or at university can look quite a bit different from high school. So I'm curious if any of you have any kind of tips or recommendations on how students can prepare for those first year courses, or kind of maybe recommendations for wellness. Here at UCalgary, we really value student wellness, and there's lots of resources and support, but it'd be great to kind of hear from you on any of those thoughts. Rebecca, do you wanna start off?
Yeah, so I'll give you all a tip that unfortunately I only realized recently, and I wished I had known that for, I don't know, a longer period of time. But go consistently to office hours. For example, I went quite frequently, to be honest, but not on every time that I went, I was so shy and like, oh my God, I don't want to like show my professor that I didn't quite understand. But recently I learned that being honest to your professors, your TAs, that, hey, I'm struggling with this. Maybe I'm not addressing this subject on the right way, they will certainly have tips for you. And if they don't, they will help you brainstorm a way for you to succeed. And another thing that I always say during, especially when it comes to open house, one thing that students always ask is, I always say, treat the first week of classes really seriously. Because what happens is you arrive at university, your first week, oh my God, this is amazing. The classes are awesome, but you're focused on, for example, I don't know, it can be distracting. So always treat the first week as the most crucial one, because I promise you, if you don't, what happens is the rest of the term, it will seem that you're stumbling. So like, it can get chaotic. So be consistent. So that's like the main goal. Be consistent with your studies. Determine hours to study a certain subject. And one thing is, do not get overwhelmed. So we are talking about wellness. So one thing that I did that I saw that was slowly destroying my mental health was I would really get obsessed with a single subject. So I would study like an entire day, the single subject. This will really, even though it will seem that, oh my God, I know so much about this. What happens is you get so obsessed with this that you end up neglecting the other classes that you're taking. So really determining that set of times to study one thing is crucial.
Thank you, Rebecca. Glaiva, did you have something that you wanted to add on as well?
Yeah, so just a quick add-on is make sure you get all your deadlines into whatever calendar you use, whether that be your Apple, Google, physical calendar. It might be at the beginning, you might think, oh yeah, I'll remember that I have biweekly assignments. Oh yeah, I'll remember that I have weekly tutorials. Um, every assignment that you have or everything that is going to be marked, just put it in. I think in first year, it's the most easy thing for students to like forget to hand in something on time. And I'm sure you guys are all very smart students. I was too at one point. But the thing that loses students' marks is putting it in late. And it's such a regretful moment of like, I had all the right answers, but I got a percent deduction because I put it in late. So make sure like first day of classes, you'll get all your assignment deadlines, put it all in, and then that way you'll make sure that you're on top of everything.
Thank you so much. That's a great recommendation. Jason, do you want to add on?
I guess I could add on a little more on the mental health side and like the wellness side. I guess the main thing I want to really mention is that university, it isn't just on you. This experience, this journey, even though it's for yourself, it's not only held against yourself, and you're not the only person that's supporting you in this journey. I guess for me, like in my first 2 years of university, I was not in the best mental state and I was extremely isolated in my own small bubble. And because of that, I did not allow myself to grow in a way that I should have. So I really would recommend students who feel overwhelmed or feel that in this moment, they just need someone to talk to explore the wellness options at the university. Like Student Wellness Services now has walk-in counseling now. They have counselors here to support you and to talk about any like mental health issues you might have at this very moment. There's also other supports like international student services for international students. There's resident services, people who live on residence. And I guess the university has so many different services. It's slightly unfortunate that they haven't been able to, I guess, get all the students to know about them. I find the main thing with students about not feeling overwhelmed and not connected is that they don't know what supports are available at the university. So familiarizing yourself with those supports and understanding how, I guess, you can connect with others is really important.
Thank you, Jason. I think I'm going to just kind of add on to this conversation a bit more. So I know all of you are very involved, and you talked about a lot of your best memories here is being involved in clubs and with student groups. And at the same time, there's a transition. So I'm curious in terms of balancing academics, working, your extracurricular activities. We know this can be really tricky. I'm just curious if anyone's willing to share kind of how you stay involved while also managing your academic workload and your wellness. Rebecca, thank you.
Okay, so my answer is going to be similar to what I said before. So I found that really separating the hours and building a routine on the determined hours that I selected was crucial, especially as a team lead. What happens is I have several meetings that I have to attend. I have several events that I need to be. So I found that not only having that separate times was great, so I could be organized, but also allowed me to really get things going. However, one thing is that it is not always that it works. So you also need a few other I would say like selection criterias. So I have those separate hours, but I also have location. So location is where am I? So for example, oh, I decided to, I don't know, address the emails for the team lead position from 10 to 11. But where am I in that 10 to 11 period? So if I'm at the university, then great. That's a great place to, I don't know, write emails and decide things for the team. However, for example, if I'm at home, maybe I'll prioritize doing stuff for my classes because I found that I concentrate better at home. And also the urgency. So like I was saying about deadlines. So if you see that you have an assignment that is getting closer to the deadline, definitely put that in your priority. So definitely knowing those criterias for deciding priority.
Thanks so much, Rebecca. Park, do you want to add on?
Yeah, I'm just going to echo a lot of what Rebecca said, but I did have this year, in my final year, it's a lot of big projects. So it's less exams and not so much like, one-time things. They're very much long marathons of assignments. And I had a prof tell me, like, if you don't schedule time to work on this, it's just going to be on the back burner and you're going to forget about it until it's crunch time. And that is absolutely rung true through my semester, at least this final semester. So I really recommend, even if it's informal, scheduling your afternoon to working on assignment, even scheduling time to go work out at the gym, go for a walk. Like, scheduling is not just used for assignments, but it can also be used for that wellness piece, mental health, for socializing, for club events. So really just making sure to get a handle on these really long-term projects, making sure you're spending a little bit of time every week rather than spending several all-nighters working on it right at the end of the semester. That will be good for your mental health.
Thank you. Taha.
Yes, to kind of add on to that as well, the funny thing is that as a university student, there's might be so much stuff going on that you sometimes forget that, oh, I'm a human being. So first and foremost, to take care of yourself, okay? Don't forget to eat, sleep, drink water instead of just energy drinks, okay? Those are gonna be very important things to do. They're very basic, but like, there you go, Jason. Okay. Um, so in my experience, there's three things that I need to keep track of in order to kind of stay on top of both academics, my life, and my mental and physical well-being. Well, that's exactly it. My academics, my mental and physical well-being, and then my social life that I have outside of it, which includes family and friends. Um, to be able to stay on top of that is a big task, particularly when in your first year and you're trying to adjust. So the interesting thing is what everyone else has been saying, dedicate time in your schedule to work on a particular task. Otherwise, you're going to either forget about it or you're going to be too stressed about something and you're going to forget that you actually need to work on this particular item. There might be points in time where you just have so much stuff going on that you're like, I don't know what to actually focus on. uh, Write it down. Write it down. Make a list. I love lists. And then at the end, I can check stuff off after I finish it. And it just kind of like, yippee, I'm done. I love them. Okay. You do not have to do this all in your head. There's a lot of tools out there for you to use. Remember that to take breaks. Take a second to just like sit down, do nothing. And that I cannot overstate how that is very useful in your mental health and physical health. Literally, to put 10 minutes in your schedule to just like sit down, close your eyes. I mean, if you want to sleep, go for it. But if you don't, just like meditate for a bit. So good. I love it. It actually helps a lot. And then, of course, prioritize your work, like Rebecca and Park mentioned, like prioritize what is coming up, because it is important to tackle the more important things first, the stuff that's going to take more time. Like, for example, you might have an assignment that's due tomorrow, but then you might also have an assignment that's due the day afterwards, and you know that the one that's due the day afterwards is a lot harder. Maybe you might have see what kind of correlation you want, how you want to dedicate your time in order to be most successful at that. And you don't have to do it alone. Ask your friends for help, see how they manage their time. go to the wellness center, see how they any resources they can provide. Honestly, you just gotta vibe.
Thanks so much, Tahab. This is all great. We're getting a couple of questions in where students are kind of curious about co-op opportunities or research opportunities. So those ways to kind of really kind of go beyond your courses. I do want to emphasize that in a lot of our courses, you can register in courses where you can gain those job-ready skills just by signing up. We also have course-based research experiences. So again, you can sign up for a course and you can build those research skills as well. So in a lot of our first year courses, you'll start learning some technical skills. And then in later year courses, you'll get to work on projects or on team projects as well. But I wanted to open it up to the panel to hear if you have any kind of stories or recommendations for getting started that way. So either finding the right course to be able to gain some of those skills, starting co-op, or thinking about kind of a research through an honors thesis or a summer research project. Anything that people might want to share in terms of your experiences. Park.
Yeah, so I can't quite speak on the co-op side of things. I just did a summer work term, but in terms of the summer research, I did do summer research in earth, energy, environment just this most recent summer. So if you are wanting to get involved in research and you're really interested in that side of your field, I really again emphasize like the connection piece. The reason that I was able to do summer research is I reached out early to a lot of different profs. I did some research on their websites, on the faculty website, as to what their research topic was. As you go up through your years, you'll get to know kind of what interests you about your field, and odds are there is someone in your program that focuses the research on that topic. So I really recommend just having a meeting with a professor. If you have a professor that does research that you're interested in, talk with them in office hours or after class, and that's a really easy way to get involved with that research early. And then you can even turn that into an honors thesis, which is the goal of my summer research, which the data sometimes doesn't work out, but that's research. You'll learn that as you go through. But it's really easy to go and turn summer research into an honors thesis or just a senior research project for the following year.
Gladbud, do you want to share more as well?
Yeah, thanks, Park, for talking on the research piece. University of Calgary is a research university, so there's lots of research opportunities. I realize, though, research is not for me. That's not one of my strengths or interests. Like, I don't want to build a project from the ground up. But something else that's offered to students is the science co-op program. I'm currently in it, and I work in the same office as William. Um, and it's not as technical as a research project would be, but I really like it because it's given me a lot of exposure to how things are run in just the professional world. And it really diversifies and puts you apart from fellow students who are graduating with maybe the exact same degree, but what makes you different? Do you have a minor? Do you do a bunch of research? Did you work in co-op? What skills did you learn in co-op? So I definitely recommend, I understand co-op's not for everybody, just like research is not for everybody, but try to find that thing that will distinguish you. And again, it's just trial and error. Sitting through classes and seeing what does pique your interest, what doesn't pique your interest. And yeah, co-op is, I'm in it, so I would really recommend it.
Thank you so much. Just because we are kind of coming short on time, I am just going to say we have kind of a few questions in here about orientation or kind of what happens before your first day of class. So I just want to let you all know that we are excited to welcome you on campus kind of ahead of the first day of class. Orientation is a great opportunity. A lot of the students talked about speed friending, different activities. You'll also get to meet with the advising team, learn about different resources on campus, get your books, figure out where you need to go, walk the campus. It's a really great event. We also have a Faculty of Science welcome where you get to meet students as well as faculty members in your department. So I highly encourage everyone to sign up and put orientation in your calendar. The last few questions that students have, there's a bit of what would you avoid or what's one thing I wish I could know? So I'm hoping we can just do around the panel. What's one thing you wish you knew when you started university, just to wrap things up? So Rebecca, if it's okay, we'll start with you and just go around the panel. So quickly, one thing.
Probably that professors are not terrifying, and that you can ask for help, and that you do not need to, for example, go to like office hours already knowing the answer. So feel free to ask questions.
I guess for me, my thing is, this probably sounds very cheesy and kid-like, but you have the power to change the world and shape the world however you see fit. It depends on how you define your world and how you want to change the world. As long as you know what you want to do, you can make that goal. The university is here to support you, your friends, your classmates, your professors, everyone here is here to support you. You just need to drive to it.
My thing would be, if you're gonna study with friends, you're not gonna get much studying done. So just study alone and then you can socialize, but don't say you're gonna study with friends. Most likely it's not gonna happen.
You echo that. But I would also say, just I didn't realize how much support would be out there for students. Like, there's such a focus on mental health nowadays, which I think is so valuable. I talked to like my parents, to my profs, and there wasn't really that emphasis, 40 years ago. But, now we have a lot of support on campus. So please, like, reach out, utilize the resources that are there for you, and you're going to have a great time and get through it. So.
The thing that I wish I knew, and I know this is going to sound grim, but you're probably going to stumble and fall at some point in time. There's probably going to be a class where you're going to get 20% on a midterm. Do not blame yourself. Do not think of it as you failing and you cannot get back up. Pull yourself back up. Get help from resources. Get help from friends. Get help from professor, and you will get through it.
Thank you so much to all of our panelists for sharing all of your insight and experiences. I do want to thank everyone here for joining us today and for giving us an opportunity just to highlight the wonderful things you'll experience as part of being part of the Faculty of Science community, and also just how great the community is here to be able to support each other through the transition and through this great step of going to university. So I know that today is kind of the beginning of a new chapter in your lives, and we are so excited that you've chosen the Faculty of Science for that next step. Before we head out, I do want to encourage everyone to sign up for our science mentorship program. Coming into your first year of university, we know can be overwhelming. So we have a science mentorship program here in the Faculty of Science to really help support you in your learning journey. So please do think about this, sign up. It's a great way to connect in and get support and build friendships right as you're getting started. Lastly, we do all need you as attendees to confirm your participation in today's virtual Faculty of Science U at UCalgary session. So I will ask that you please scan the QR code or click the link that is now in the chat to confirm your participation in today's event. By confirming your participation, this is one of the criteria that is required to qualify you for early course registration date. So I do want to say thank you all so much again. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and we're all really looking forward to seeing you here in September. If you have follow-up questions, please be sure to reach out to the undergraduate science team, and the rest of us really look forward to seeing you in the fall. Thank you so much, everyone.